The Conviction Review Unit in Davidson County takes a look at cases that may need to be overturned. I'm now joined on the phone by the Davidson County Assistant District Attorney Sonny Eaton with more on some of the work they do. Sonny, good morning. We appreciate you joining us to talk about this. I know it's something that's important to DA Funk since he took over. So this program has been in place now for 3 years. Tell us how exactly it works. How do you find the cases that possibly need to be overturned or reviewed?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. You're right. The unit has been around for just over 3 years, and cases come to us a variety of ways. Sometimes they're self-initiated. Sometimes there are what we call sentinel events where there's something that comes up with a former officer or change in the law that makes us need to go back and look at cases. But usually these are applications that come into our office.
Okay.
Either from someone who's been convicted themselves or from their attorney.
So how do you know, since it's been in place for about 3 years now, how do you measure the unit's success?
You know, we really work hard to stay in line with best practices, and we spend a lot of time talking with units across the nation that have good reputations about what their policies and practices are. And we measure success, frankly, by our professionalism and by transparency. We build public trust because we publish our final reports when we want to overturn a conviction, or when I say we want to bring something to the court. There's no question about the work we've done because it's all there in usually a very lengthy report about the work we've done on a case.
And Sonny, you've been telling me just how many cases you guys review. Give us an idea of what that's like.
You know, it changes over time how many applications we get per month. I can only really speak to the number of cases that have crossed my desk since I took the job just over a year ago. It's been about 15 months. And all in all, we've probably looked at between 90 and 100 applications at that time. We have several stages of review, and although we try to err on the side of inclusion at the beginning stages, still our basic guidelines with that, a lot of those cases get knocked out as ineligible at that very first stage, because what we're looking for is actual innocence. We're not trying to get in the way of decisions that juries have already made unless there is what we call clear and convincing evidence giving us a reason to do that. That can be new science, that can be new evidence that we didn't have before, that may be different understandings of the evidence than there was before, but it has to be incredibly strong. And we go through a lengthy internal investigation before we can get to a conclusion where we're asking the court to vacate a conviction.
Okay, and I just wanted to ask you really quickly, why is this so important? Why do you think this unit is so important for the DA's office?
Well, when we talk about the role of a modern district attorney's office, when we're talking about the mission of a modern district attorney's office, like in Nashville, our mission is to do justice always. We've come to understand that that does not just mean securing convictions. That's not where our duty lies. Our duty is to get it right. We have a duty to crime victims. We have a duty to defendants to make sure that the work that we're doing and the convictions that we secure are the right ones with the right people. Because if we convict the wrong people, we're doing everyone a disservice. We're creating new victims in people who were wrongfully convicted, and we're not securing justice for a victim of a crime if we haven't gotten the right person. So I think that this work is not just important, but it's imperative. It's essential to the work of a district attorney's office. It builds public trust. The public needs to know that we are willing to admit mistake when we've made it, that we're willing to be diligent, that we'll be transparent, and that if we've gotten something wrong, we're going to fix it. This is relatively new across the country. When General Funk started this unit, there were only about 25 of these units nationwide. Now there's close to 100 because people are starting to understand how important this is to the work of the district attorney's office.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to share this with us, Sonny. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And for more information on the Conviction Review Unit, be sure to head to our website, WKRN.com. We'll post this entire segment under the Newsmaker section of the Watch tab.